People used to treat me like I was nothing more than a shadow, an unnoticed fixture in their bustling lives. I was Maya Johnson, a kind black waitress, standing behind the counter of a small coffee shop, struggling to make ends meet while caring for my ailing mother. Yet, in that moment of chaos, as I watched an elderly man being humiliated for not having enough change, something stirred within me. I couldn't ignore the pain etched on his frail face, a reflection of my own struggles. When I stepped in, standing up against my manager, Christopher, I felt the weight of every unjust moment I had endured. Dignity is not for sale, I proclaimed defiantly, knowing that my job was on the line. There was uncertainty in my heart, but with it came a quiet confidence, a fierce sense of rightness. Days later, I would discover a mysterious envelope in my locker. Inside, a $100 bill and a note of gratitude from that old man, unaware that he was actually Edward Thornton, a billionaire observing acts of true kindness. As the winds of change began to swirl, I uncovered the dark truth behind my family's lost legacy and Edward's desire to support my fight for justice. The battle for dignity, once a solitary struggle, became a shared journey. Soon I would reclaim my family's history and spearhead a movement, transforming the cafe into a beacon of hope for those like me. The little acts of kindness that seemed insignificant revealed themselves as powerful catalysts for change. And that old man's quiet wisdom would lead to my redemption. "Get out of my way, Maya!" Christopher bellowed, shoving past her with a clipped glance at the elderly man fumbling in his pockets. The coffee shop's hum quieted, eyes turning toward the scene. "I'm just trying to help him," Maya protested, her voice steady despite the quaking in her chest. "He clearly needs..." He's just a freeloader." Christopher interrupted, his nostrils flaring. "We don't have time for charity cases. This is a business." Maya's hands clenched into fists at her sides. The old man with gray hair and mismatched clothes averted his gaze, humiliation threading through his furrowed brow. "I'm sorry, I only have a few coins left," he murmured, shame flooding his voice. "You can't be serious. Do you really want to give away coffee for free, Maya? This isn't a soup kitchen," Christopher sneered, folding his arms with self-satisfaction. Maya took a step forward, defiance blooming in her heart. "He deserves dignity, not scorn. We can't turn our backs on people just because they don't fit your corporate mold." Christopher's lips curled into a condescending smile. "Your problem, Maya, is that you care too much. You'll learn this the hard way. The experienced for much repartment, and those largest towards. They are study and estate programs, repartment of age perspective style, for na long than personal assist." Her stomach twisted as the silence hung heavy. The spectators, co-workers, and regulars shifted uncomfortably, glancing away. Maya turned back to the old man, her heart a mixture of anger and compassion. "I'll cover it," she whispered, pulling a crumpled bill from her own meager savings. The smirk slipped from Christopher's face, a crack forming in his iron grip of authority as he watched her act of defiance unravel in front of him. But that day the power had shifted, if only slightly, and there was no going back. Maya stood behind the counter, her hands trembling slightly as she wiped down the stainless steel surface. Customers filed in and out of the cafe, oblivious to the weight pressing down on her shoulders. Each clatter of mugs and hum of chatter seemed to amplify her internal struggle. A flash of silver caught her eye. Christopher, the manager, reprimanding the old man again, his voice ringing harsh against the warm ambience of the cafe. "That's it. Either you pay or you leave, old-timer," Christopher barked, the patrons falling silent in response. Maya's heart raced. Memories of her grandmother's whispers about kindness swirled in her mind. Standing up, she stepped forward. "Sir, let me get that for you," she called, her voice trembling yet resolute. The old man's eyes sparkled with gratitude, but Christopher's sneer pierced through her resolve. "Insubordination," he shot back, his fury palpable, relegating Maya's act of compassion to mere defiance. Maya's heart sank, but she stood firm. After her shift, she found a shocking surprise in her locker. A crisp $100 bill and a note of thanks from the old man. Just then, Christopher stormed in, eyes blazing with indignation. "I should have fired you the moment I saw you," he blustered, pointing an accusatory finger at her. Something in Maya snapped. The exhaustion of acceptance, the humiliation, and years of feeling invisible surged within her. The anger, their glances lingered on Maya, a spark of solidarity igniting in their eyes. As she walked back to her station, she noticed the mysterious This was just the beginning, and Maya felt the winds of change. This is not just about money, it's about respect and dignity. With each word, the weight of her past, every struggle, every moment of humility, transformed into a fierce beacon of truth. The room hushed as murmurs of disbelief washed over the crowd. Christopher's composure tempted to interject, his voice quaking. But the patrons, once intimidated by him, now openly sided with Maya, shaking their heads in disdain at his bullying tactics. There was a palpable sense of justice washing over the cafe. Miller's voice rang out. It was one of her former co-workers, standing at the back. "You treated us all like dirt to protect your interests." Others started to nod, some even taking out their phones to record the unfolding scene, encapsulating this pivotal moment. As Edward spoke, outlining plans to help the cafe become a community hub, Christopher's defeat was palpable. He shifted uncomfortably, stammering excuses that fell on deaf ears as the crowd rallied behind Maya, their silent applause electrifying the room. "I won't forget this," he muttered, a whisper of his former self, but now he was the one sidelined, stripped of his false authority. Maya smiled, tears pooling in her eyes as she felt the warmth of solidarity embracing her. She had fought not just for herself, but for her family and community, standing tall as the embodiment of resilience. In that moment, she was more than just a waitress. She was a triumphant force of hope. Christopher left the cafe, whispers of his downfall serving as a bittersweet anthem for a new beginning, while Maya's heart swelled with pride, a silent victory echoing throughout the cafe. As I sit in this cozy cafe, the scent of freshly brewed coffee lingering in the air, I reflect on the unexpected journey that began with a simple act of kindness. I remember the old man, his humble appearance masking the profound wisdom he carried. Standing up to my manager that day felt like a gamble, but it turned into something far greater than I could have imagined. I chose dignity over protocol, a choice rooted in the values my grandmother instilled in me. Through the trials and the lessons learned, I've discovered strength I didn't know I possessed. I've seen how a small act of compassion can ripple out, leading to justice where there was once only oppression. It has changed not just my life, but the community around me. As I ponder this transformative experience, I wonder, do you think I went too far? What would you have done in my position? Have you ever faced a situation where kindness collided with authority? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's explore the delicate balance of right versus wrong and how together we can make a difference.